Once upon a time, deep inside an emerald green forest, there lived a tiny bird. And this little bird had a big dream. His dream was to gather the most beautiful bud that bloomed on the highest branch of the tallest tree in the forest. This bud was very special. Once a year it produced the sweetest nectar, which tasted like liquid gold. Every bird in the forest wanted this nectar, but only a patient bird could get it. One day our little bird was watching all the other birds. They were gathering the common seeds and rushing back to their nests. He was tired of eating these common seeds, and so he decided that this year he would be the one to eat the sweet nectar. But the question was, how could he do it? The bud wasn't ready to bloom yet, and he couldn't reach it without breaking the law of the forest. All the birds knew that if you touched another bird's flower before it blossomed, you would have to face their wrath. So he waited. Days turned into weeks, and the little bird kept watching the other birds. Some of them gathered the common seeds again and again, while others flew away to distant lands. All of them returned except one, the slowest of them all. This bird always took the longest route, but it never gave up. Why? Because it was too slow. One day, after a particularly harsh winter storm, the little bird felt defeated. The cold rain made him shiver. He almost gave up and decided to gather the common seeds. Just then, he saw the flower, was bent over, and seemed lifeless. The strong winds had knocked off all its leaves, and now it was freezing in the cold rain. If something didn't change soon, the flower might die. Looking at it, the little bird remembered his dream. He knew he could not let the flower die. At least he could protect it from the harsh winds and cold rain, until the sun came back out. And so he did. Day after day, he stayed by the flower. In the morning, he would shield it from the cold winds, and in the afternoon, he would cover it with his feathers during the heavy downpours. One day, as he was protecting the bud from the cold, he saw a wise old tortoise slowly making his way towards him. The little bird asked the tortoise, "How can I make my dream come true?" The wise old tortoise looked at the little bird and replied, "The most beautiful things in life require the most patient heart." Then he continued his journey. These words echoed in the little bird's mind. He continued to wait patiently, protecting the flower from the harsh weather. Weeks went by, and the bud began to grow. The little bird kept watching it, waiting for the day when it would blossom. Finally, one day when the sun was shining brightly and the sky was filled with the sweet songs of birds, the bud began to open. First, it revealed a tiny crack. Then the crack grew bigger and bigger, until finally the bud blossomed into the most beautiful flower in the entire forest. Its petals were soft pink, and in the center, there was a drop of sweet nectar. It was exactly as the little bird had imagined it. The little bird sang with joy. He had waited so long for this moment. Quickly drank the sweet nectar. It tasted like liquid gold. It was the sweetest thing he had ever tasted in his life. But the joy didn't last for long. Soon, all the birds arrived, each wanting to drink the sweet nectar. They surrounded the little bird, demanding he share the nectar with them. The little bird knew he couldn't fight them all alone, so he asked them, "Do you want to see the most beautiful flower in the forest? Do you want to taste the sweetest nectar in the world?" All the birds nodded in agreement. The little bird then told them what he had done to protect the flower and how he had waited patiently for it to bloom. When they heard his story, all the birds apologized for not understanding and left him alone. From that day on, the little bird became the happiest bird in the forest. He had the sweetest flower and the sweetest nectar. Not only this, but he also gained the respect of every bird in the forest. Now, you might be thinking, why did the bud produce the sweetest nectar? Well, it did this to reward the little bird for his patience and kindness. You see, flowers and plants cannot reward the birds while they are still growing, because they don't have any nectar or fruits. They can only reward those birds who show patience and kindness while they're still growing. This story teaches us that sometimes we need to be patient to receive the reward. Many people give up midway, but those who don't give up and continue their efforts successfully complete their dreams. The little bird was successful because he was patient and kind. But why do we need patience to achieve our goals? We need patience to learn new skills. Imagine you're learning to ride a bicycle. Would you be able to ride a bicycle without being patient? No, because learning anything new takes time. You can't expect to become an expert at anything by just practicing it once or twice. You must practice over and over again to master a skill. Therefore, whatever you do in your life, Be patient and don't get discouraged. We also need patience to achieve our long-term goals. For example, suppose you want to become a doctor. To become a doctor, you must study hard for many years. You must also work hard for many years. You can't become a doctor overnight. But after studying for many years, you'll need more patience to work in hospitals to treat patients. Without patience, you wouldn't be able to handle such stress. Therefore, to achieve any long-term goal in life, you need to be patient. Sometimes you have to be patient to receive the reward. Sometimes we have to be patient to avoid mistakes. Let's think about driving a car. Would you be able to drive a car safely if you weren't patient? No, because driving a car requires a lot of concentration. You have to concentrate on the road, on other cars, on pedestrians, and on everything else around you. If you're impatient, you won't be able to focus on these things, and this will increase your chances of getting into an accident. Impatience also causes us to make mistakes in our personal lives. Imagine you're talking to someone and they're taking too long to respond. If you're impatient, you might say something that you'll later regret. Being patient isn't easy, especially in today's world. We live in a fast-paced society where everything is instant. We want everything fast, whether it's food, entertainment, or communication. But when everything becomes instant, it also becomes tasteless. Nothing is satisfying anymore. So remember, no matter what you do in your life, don't rush. Do everything patiently. When you do, you'll definitely succeed. Moral of the story? True strength isn't about speed or immediate results. It's about the quiet power of patience. He continued to practice his patience and kindness every day. He would help others and be grateful for what he had. Finally, one day he felt at peace with himself. He knew that he had become truly strong. Moral of the story: true strength isn't about being the strongest or winning every fight. It's about being patient, calm, and kind. If you liked this story, give it a thumbs up. If you love similar stories like this, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.